Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another One Piece related video. I'm Joel, and on this channel, we get up to a bunch of nerdy shit. We've been opening boxes of One Piece cards on this channel for a while now, and some of those boxes had some gems in them, and I just wanted to run a little experiment because, I don't know, I just kind of wanted to get some of my cards turned into slabs, and I wanted to experiment and see if GameStop, their submission process to PSA, worked. And this was kind of like a twofold thing. It was like, I want to get my cards graded, but I also wanted to see if GameStop would provide like a high quality experience and if my cards would come back in the same condition I sent them out. And pretty much all the cards that I pulled out of the One Piece booster boxes, they were in pristine condition. Like, they went immediately into plastic, and most of them looked just really, really good. So I'm expecting no less than like an 8 from any of these cards. Might get a surprise in there. There were a couple cards in this bunch that I bought raw off of like the internet. So it is possible that maybe there was some edge wear or something that I just didn't notice. But most of these cards I looked at straight out of the box, and I tried to send in some pretty clean looking cards. Send in some SRs, send in some alt arts. I tried not to send in anything like majorly high dollar because I just wanted to use this as a testing ground, like as an experiment to see whether I could trust the process of sending cards in to PSA through GameStop. And I have to admit, I received the cards a little bit faster than the timeline they were potentially like saying would happen. They say sometimes even when you go through GameStop and they get like first priority because they send a lot of submissions through GameStop, that the process can take up to 3 months. And luckily for me, it took about 2. It's not the speediest of processes, of course, but I expected it to actually take longer than it did. I submitted 20 cards. The pricing through GameStop was actually a bit cheaper than it would have been otherwise sending them myself. So I figured this is probably the dominant way to send cards to PSA. For one, because they take priority, and 2, because you don't have to do any of the packaging yourself, and 3, because the cost is a little bit less, especially if you send it in bulk. I think they needed like a 20 card minimum in order to actually ship anything to PSA. Luckily, there was someone else that had a big order as well, so they literally sent the cards out the same day that I brought them in. All that to say, I got this box here full of slabs, and I haven't looked at them yet. I haven't looked at any paperwork indicating what they were. I had to look at the quality of the slabs. They make you like observe them to make sure that there's no damage to the exterior. So I faced them down and I kind of covered them up, and I wanted to make sure that, you know, I didn't see the grades. So I am going to take these guys out of the box, and we're just gonna put that big old stack right there of 20 cards. Very reasonable amount of cards to start with, I thought. You know, like, I wanted to make it worth my while. The process takes so much time. I didn't want to just send in like 5 or 10. I wanted to just kind of get a big bulk order in, just so I could kind of see a little bit more of the averages, see how many 10s I got back, how many 9s there possibly were. I'm sure there's at least like 1 or 2 8s in here somewhere. There was one card I had in this bunch that was a Jimbei alt art card that I kind of think might get an 8 because I think along the top there might have been some kind of warping to the card. It was one of the ones I ordered off the internet as a single. But anyway, let's get into this, guys. I'm excited to check out and see what is in these stacks, because it's been 2 months and I kind of have forgotten a lot of the cards that I submitted. So I'm gonna be a little bit like surprised to see which ones I picked out, because I purposefully, like I said earlier, did not pick out the most valuable cards I had. Anyway, guys, come along on this journey with me, because I'm going to see how these cards turned out. They were shipped through GameStop. I had very little control over the packaging process or anything. I kind of assumed that anything that could go wrong might and would go wrong. and that maybe they would get damaged in transit, or that maybe GameStop wouldn't package them properly, perhaps. I just didn't know what to expect from this, it being my first time. But observing the slabs that I got back, the cards didn't look much different than when I sent them in. They looked pretty pristine. The edging looked good from what I could see. Yeah, it's just like these cards look pretty much the same as when I sent them out. They don't look like they were harmed at all. They were packaged properly. Obviously, the submission went really well. I will say one thing about GameStop, the process of sending cards in through GameStop is the notifications are completely ass. The only notification I got through GameStop was that PSA received my order, and that was basically 5 weeks after I sent them out. I was finally giving a notification. But the whole list that they have where it's going through PSA's whole process and then it's being shipped back and whatnot, none of that was updated the entire time. I don't think that's on GameStop's end. I think PSA just receives so many submissions that they don't even bother to update GameStop on anything other than hey, we received the order and we're working on it. So I'm not really gonna fault GameStop for that. Let's look at some slabs. Let's see what we got here. We got a solid stack of 20 here, so we got plenty to go through. And yeah, guys, I'm excited. We got our slab number 1 here. I believe the grade is on the, yeah, it's on the right side. So I'm gonna cover that up with my thumb. Oh, and this is the exact card that I was talking about. Right here on the top, I don't know if you can really see, but I think there's a little bit of warping right in the middle. It's really kind of hard to see on camera. And it looks pretty, it's very near mint. And the foil on this is beautiful. The condition of this card was really good when I got it. But it's possible that there was just some slight warping on the top. It doesn't even really look like it in the slab, so maybe that's a good sign. Maybe this card ends up being more than an 8. But I'd be kind of surprised if this one is more than an 8 personally, just because of that little thing I noticed. As you can see, great reflective pattern. Jinbei's face is just awesome on this one. I really like this one a lot. So let's see what we got. And we got a 9. Hell yeah. You know, I just knew this card wasn't going to be a 10. I thought it could possibly be a 9 just because everything else about this card is super clean. The edging, the centering is pretty decent along the border there, and the holographic pattern is just super clean. So the fact that we got a 9, super happy with that. Let's put that one off to the side for now. I think I'll kind of create a visible stack here on camera. All right, so the next one here, the back's looking pretty clean. Let's cover that up. All right, so we got our Monkey D. Luffy alt art here. I don't know if there was really any issues with this card that I could see going into it. It just looked really clean. Yeah, didn't really have any edging issues, maybe some slight speckling on the top, but I can't even really see anything there. Yeah, the corners look pretty good. There might be a little bit of speckling down there at the bottom. Can't really tell. So let's see what this one is, guys. And it's a 10. Yeah, like I said, this is very clean card. I put it in hard plastic right after I pulled it. And yeah, looks freaking great, guys. Really solid Luffy card. I like the design of that one. It's a very pretty card. All right, so we've got a Portuguese de Ace SR right here. This is from the ST deck. This is from one of the starter decks. I thought it was a really clean, cool looking card, and the starter deck comes with 2 of these, so I figured I'll get one of them graded. I didn't really have any other ace cards that had any significant pattern on them, and I really wanted to get a slab of ace, so yeah, that's what this one was all about. Really, really beautiful like pattern going all through this one. So I was like, that looks super clean. I'll submit it, see what happens, and we got a 10. Hell yeah, guys. I feel like One Piece TCG is way easier to get high grades on because the cards are like a little bit thicker and like crisper quality than Pokemon. Like they're much harder to bend and warp, and I'm sure that like when you ship them, they like sit in their casing a little bit better. So and I imagine that like Pokemon is so saturated and they have so many to compare them against that it's really hard to get a high grade, especially with a company like PSA. All right, we got another SR here, guys. We got a Law card. This card by itself is worth like next to nothing, but graded, I think it like boosts the value quite a bit. But then again, I think any graded card like will usually sell for above 20 because it takes about anywhere from like 18 to 25 bucks to grade a card. So that kind of just boosts the value in and of itself. Yeah, super, like I said with the other cards, just really clean, really cool pattern on it, like really reflective, and I just like the way this one was framed. I recently pulled like a much more clean, like expensive Law card, so I would have much rather like gotten that one graded, but I'll have to send in another batch, I guess. All right, let's see what we got here, guys, and this one is also a 10. I feel like the SRs, it's much easier to get a 10, just because the cards, like a lot of SRs, unless they're in a brand new set, they don't hold a whole lot of value. So they're probably willing to give 10s a little bit more leniently, even if there are like maybe some slight, like, you know, if there's a little white dot on the side or something of one of the cards, I'm sure they're still willing to give that out to a certain extent. All right, so we got an Alt-Art Kaido here. I sent like both Kaidos. I think this is the SEC Alt-Art. So I sent in both the regular SEC, which is worth like less than $1 by itself, and I sent this one just because this one's super sick. But I'm not like the biggest Kaido fan. Like I was like, this card looks cool and I want to send it in just as part of the experiment, but I didn't really care what grade I got on this one in particular, but the design on this one is very cool. The color contrast between the blues and the reds, and the backdrop just like frames Kaido as a dragon really, really well. So let's see what we got here, guys. This one is also a 10. So far, we are doing really well on 10s. I think I'm gonna actually, here, as part of the experiment here, let's separate the 10s from anything below a 10 here. So far, we are getting a really good ratio, guys. We have 4 10s, 1 9. And the 9 that I got, I thought was gonna be an 8. So, pretty good track record so far. Let's move on here. I didn't see it. The camera might have caught the grade there. So if you guys saw that already, yeah, I didn't. But you know, super classic Sanji card. He kind of gets lost in the background of this card. It's a cool design, but it's not like the best Sanji card. But it was the first full art or alt art that I got of Sanji. And I just wanted to get all of the Straw Hats like in graded slabs. So without any further ado, guys, that is also a 10. A very, very clean looking card for sure. I imagine that if there were any like that this pattern could hide a lot of stuff. All right, so so far 5 10s. We got a great track record. I'm really doing a good job at taking care of these cards right when I take them out of the box. That's what that is telling me. Blech. All right, this is from OP10. This is from a more recent box opening. Dofi, man, I needed a Dofi card slabbed. I have a really cool alt art leader that I really need to slab up. But this one was also a cool one that I pulled from my first box of OP10, and it just has a cool pose, cool framing. I love that the string coming from his fingers is all reflective and stuff too, and his glasses. Super clean looking card. Yeah, I don't see any major issues with this card. Ooh, actually, I don't know if that's the slab, but there's like a little ding right there. But I think that's the slab. I don't think that's the card itself. I think that's just a smear or some kind of like scratch on the case itself. So let's see what we got, guys. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. My phone camera ran out of storage because I hadn't deleted all of the old footage on it. So anyway, guys, yeah, we got a 10. That's awesome. I'm so happy that I have a Dofi card that's graded a 10. And man, we've only not gotten one 10, guys. That's crazy so far. So far, we have an amazing track record. I guess I have to recommend sending your cards in through GameStop. This one I really liked. It's the Boa Hancock illustration from the illustration box. I think I sent in the Nami from this box as well. Didn't pull jack shit from any of the packs in here, but I really wanted these cards for the artwork and whatnot. I didn't really have a good Boa card. My girlfriend has a few, but I didn't really have any that I liked. So let's see what we got. And we got a 10, guys. A 10 on Boa. Gotta love those 10s, guys. Yeah, centering always looks really good on these cards, too. I haven't ran into hardly any One Piece cards with bad centering. I'm sure it happens, but I just don't see it much. All right, moving on to Carrot here. We got the Carrot SP, the Carrot SR from OP08. This is the only box of OP08 I opened. I got a really cool Chopper alt art leader in that box. But this was one of the lesser, card. This is a card I wasn't scared of like losing in the mail that I wanted to send in for the experiment. Really cool colors in this one. The character of Carrot is fun. She's not like my favorite character as far as like supporting characters go, but she's charming, she's likable, and this card really popped and had a cool reflective pattern. So let's see what we got on Carrot. Another 10, guys. Another 10 on Miss Carrot over here. Love that. I think every SR I've gotten so far has been a 10. So that's fun. It's nice not to lose money on those, I guess. Although I probably have lost money between the cost of the booster boxes and the cost of the grading. Who knows? All right, this one is an unknown to me, because this is another one like the Jinbei card that I ordered online from somebody else. This one I feel like didn't have any issues that I noticed like the Jinbei card. The centering's not bad. Centering's not bad at all. Yeah. I don't know, guys. I really love the pattern on this one. It's a nice little Wano outfit that Nico Robin's wearing, and I didn't really have that many Nico Robin like cards that I liked, so I bought this one. And it's a 10. All right, guys, another alt art 10. And it's a female anime character, so a 10 in one of those is just extra valuable, isn't it? For all you weebs out there, all you perverts. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I'm kind of kidding. All right, so we got a Gecko Moria up next. Just a really cool card. I like a lot more of the newer SRs because they have like a artwork that just pops outside of the border, and I always thought that was really cool. This one's from '06 actually, so it's actually kind of older, from one of the older sets. Super cool looking card though. Gecko Moria is such an interesting character. Thriller Bark, such a fun arc. Let's see. Yeah, centering looks pretty good. I wonder what we got here. Another 10, guys. Another 10. Holy crap. We're just stacking up the 10s here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 10s. So we are halfway through, guys. And 90% of them so far have been 10s. Not a bad return. Not a bad return at all. All right. This is from OP10. Don Quixote Rocinante. I really like this card just because of the composition and like just Law crying in the background and kind of just the brotherly representation of these two characters' relationships. Yeah, let's see what we got. Another 10, guys. Can't not get a 10 on these SRs. I'm just having a great time here, guys. So many 10s. Here is the other illustration. So we got Miss Nami over here. A little hand-drawn action. It's from the same illustration box as that Boa Hancock. Yeah, I don't see this being anything other than a 10, but who knows? Maybe we'll be surprised. Maybe we'll actually get another 9. Nope. It's a 10. It's a 10, ladies and gentlemen. 2 10s on the illustration box. Both of those cards in pristine condition. All right. Cool. Let's keep going, guys. I can't stop the momentum here. Can't stop the flow. All right. Shanks. We got a Shanks SR here. Love the design on this. I have another one of these as well. I want to do at least grade one of them. I didn't have any like Shanks alt art cards, so I was like, I want a Shanks card graded. Yeah, this one's from '06, OP06, and this one's from the film, which is probably why he looks so different. He looks like a, yeah, he looks like a sex icon with his shirt open like that and whatnot. But yeah, without any further ado, I'm just getting lost in Shanks' pecs over here. I'm just mesmerized, and the flame pattern just points you right to the middle of his torso there. And let's see what we got on it, guys. Did we really think it was going to be anything other than a 10? I mean, really. All right, cool. Whoop. I don't know if you saw that. I'll edit it so you didn't see it. I didn't see it, but I think I had the corner on camera there for a second. All right, this is one of my favorites that I submitted in this bunch. It's a Perona alt art. The edges and everything look super clean on this one. I was like, I'm pretty sure this is just going to grade really well. It's from '06. It's one of the many '06 cards that I pulled. I think I opened like 3 boxes of them. So I pulled a lot of stuff out of '06, and this was definitely one of my favorites. Just because Perona as a character is very colorful and fun to look at, and the ghosts, just the way that they're kind of framed in this, I thought was really cool. And yeah, we got a 10. Hell yeah. Another actual alt art at a 10. Gotta love that, guys. Like these... Whoever graded this batch, they're probably just like, oh my god, these all look clean, like 10s across the board. But I am really impressed that I noticed something and it wasn't a 10. That makes me think that, you know, people are actually doing a good job at PSA. All right, this was more recent from OP10, guys. A Monkey D. Luffy. We got Snake Man Luffy here. Here, I'm gonna like scoot these over so I can hold this back a little bit more for the camera. Yeah, guys, Monkey D. Luffy OP10. This was pretty crispy out of the box. I don't really see any problems on the front of the card. I'm just gonna guess another 10, because why would I guess anything else at this rate? Yeah, it's a 10. Hell yeah, guys. So we have 4 cards left. So out of all the cards that we've done so far, we are more than 3/4 of the way through it, and we only have 1 9, and the rest are 10s. That is what I'm talking about, guys. Here, I'll put the 9 over here so we can see what we got left here. Whoop! That was almost disastrous. All right, NL. My girlfriend has a really cool NLSP. I'm really jealous. That one needs to get graded at some point. But I like the character of NL. His god complex is amusing. And I think he's one of the more underrated villains in One Piece. So I had a couple SRs like this, and I was just like, you know what? Let's send one of them in. What the heck? And it's a 10. Of course it's a 10, guys. Why would it not be? All right. Cool. Ooh, this is probably like the biggest pull, at least one of the biggest pulls in this unboxing video. The SEC Zoro from OP06. Pulled 2 of these out of the boxes. I really was hoping for like the cowboy shot, like SEC alt art that had like the cool pose, the one that's a bit more valuable in the set. But I pulled 2 of these. Since I had 2, I figured I'd send one, just risk it. If anything bad happened to the one, I would still have the other. So I'm really hoping for a 10 on this one, guys. If any card in the set was a 10, I wish it was this one. And it's a 10, yes! Yes, ladies and gentlemen, yes! I am so stoked on this, guys. Like, this card is just so cool looking. Like, just with the pattern work, the background contrast, just the way, like, Zoro is drawn is, like, so detailed with all, like, the little muscle striations and veins and whatnot. And the little sparkle on his eye there. I just love that. I love that I have that card graded at a PSA 10. That is a relief to me. I'll probably send the other one in too, honestly. Why not? Honestly, why not? It might make a really good gift for a friend or something. All right. We got our Tony Chopper here. This was... I basically just sent this one in because I didn't have any other Chopper cards that were worth grading. So just send in this SR. And yeah, wanted to get one more Straw Hat graded. So, and it's a 10. It's an SR and it's in this delivery. So yeah, it's a 10. Of course it's a 10. Why would it be anything other than a 10? All right. Okay, cool. This is the 3rd and final card that I purchased outside of unboxing. Because I hadn't gotten an alt art Nami yet, and I think I have... Well, I mean, I have that illustration one, but I think I might have pulled one since I bought this. But I really just like this card because it's like her in a little pirate getup, and it's like... That's just perfect. And it was one of those cards, like... There's a few Namis that are like fairly moderate in their explicit framing of her body, but like so many of the Nami cards are just like super sexualized. And this one was a little bit more subdued. So I was like, I like Nami for her character. Like it's not just like, she's such a good character, and I feel like she's just like definitely one of those characters that a lot of people over-sexualize because... I mean, she's attractive, but it's like one of those things where I was like, I want to get a card that's like a little bit more calm down there, bruh, you know? Anyway, really cool looking card. I don't remember seeing any issues with this one. The edging might have not been as perfect as like the ones I pulled out of the boxes. But yeah, guys, let's see what we got for our very last card here. And it's a 10, guys. Oh my gosh. Look at all these 10s. That is 19 out of 20 cards that got graded perfectly. So yeah, guys, that is just absolutely nuts to me. I definitely can give a recommendation to like getting your cards graded at GameStop at this point. I was really skeptical about like how good the condition of my cards would be from submission to going through their like boxing up process to getting shipped to PSA to getting processed by PSA to getting sent back to GameStop to them, you know, taking things out of the box and organizing it separately. But yeah, I mean, obviously they did a really good job at just like keeping everything contained. They do like put the cards in their own specialized sleeves when you get there. So just so you know that, like if you do submit things to GameStop, you might as well I mean, I guess you want to bring them with like hard covers on, but you might as well just bring them in the more malleable plastic sleeves just because they're going to have to re-sleeve them anyway, which is fine. As long as you're careful, like taking them out of the top loaders, then you can definitely like transport them around like that. Yeah, guys, I'm super happy with the results of this. 1910s. That is crazy. That gives me like a super high amount of optimism for submitting some really clean looking, like more expensive cards that I have that are just crispy, like they're just good. All of the alt art leaders that I've pulled are in great condition, and if these cards graded like this, especially the one, like a couple of them that I ordered off the internet as raw singles, I'm super optimistic about sending those into PSA now. The process, I guess, just doesn't take as long as I thought it might. I was expecting to wait like another month, and it's nice. I just got like a call one day, and it's like, hey, your cards are ready to pick up. So yeah. Let me know in the comments what your situations with PSA have been like, if you have sent anything in through them. Yeah, and other grading companies as well. Let me know if the CGC went well for any of you guys, or Tag, or any of those other ones. And yeah, I hope this was informative and helpful and maybe even a little bit entertaining. That's about all I have for you today. So take care, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a good one, guys.